This podcast is brought to you by Lacrosse All-Stars. Growing the game, one podcast at a time. Hey guys, welcome to the Lacrosse Podcast. We actually have a bit of news. This is going to be the last Lacrosse podcast, at least in this format. And reason being is we're just crazy busy. This takes a lot of production time. Yeah,
This doesn't.
Rich gets up 5 hours before we shoot every single one of these.
Mm-hmm. And then I don't do anything for 5 hours. And then I just come right in.
But yeah, I mean, we really loved everyone's involvement, and it's not to say that we won't come back and do this again. But for right now, we're going to need to take 5. Between this and filming the woodshop series and making sure that all the sticks are made and everything's going out, Rich has been helping coach with the Roadrunners.
Yeah, we got another event coming up this weekend, actually.
That's awesome.
I'll post some stuff about that. I don't have the flyer with me, but I'll post all the real
We're
information.
on a podcast. What's a flyer going to do?
Well, I mean, it has all the times and the dates and stuff. I don't want to say anything incorrect. But
Rich
I'll post that information.
That's how you organize your entire life. He just carries around
Flyers.
a manila folder with flyers in it. But yeah, overall, I mean, I love this experience, and maybe we'll pick it back up, or maybe it'll just be Rich. Maybe it'll be a different format. I don't dislike this medium. I just don't have any time to, I think, do this properly. To the extent, like, straight up, I didn't get to watch anything last weekend.
Oh, I got to watch a couple. Bleacher Report had their free thing going on.
I was just stuck. I was stuck in the wood shop.
Yeah, I was actually wandering around, running tons of errands, but still like was trying to watch on my phone. I only got a couple of the games, but yeah, it was it's getting busy.
So with that, you know, in order to do due diligence, we did actually have 2 amazing wings players here. I was downstairs hanging out with them, doing some stick making, and then they came up and they spoke to Rich. So I think we sign off on this era of the Lacrosse Podcast the same way that we signed on. We talked about the wings.
Yeah, and just like when we signed on, feeling positive about this weekend. We're going to wreck the Black Wolves. I've been working on some jeers and some chants. Chirps. That's what they call it up north, right? Some chirps, if you will, specific for the Black Wolves. So yeah, you know, let's go Wings. Hopefully we get another. You know, I would like to see a fight. Would like to see a fight this game.
Would you?
We've been chilling on the fighting tip. Maybe, you know, I don't know. Feeling spicy. It's the last episode of the podcast. I want to see a fight, guys.
That's also how we came in.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, I want to see people
I want to see a fight.
All right. Also, if you're wondering what that noise is, Dumpster Cat's in the building.
She just like doesn't care.
Go to the interview. Transition to the interview, and this will all be over, Rich.
All right. Well, Dumpster Cat was there for the interview, and she'll take us in to that section. All right, ladies and gentlemen, special guests in the studio today. We have Frank Brown and Anthony. I don't want to butcher your last name. Can you pronounce that for us?
Joaquim.
Joaquim. Oh, that was actually a lot easier than I thought. I'm always assuming it's a little more complicated. I don't want to pronounce stuff like Justin does. It gets a little rough. So we have some wings in the building, and we have a game coming up this weekend. It's Fan Appreciation Night. Guys, thanks for being here. Tell us a little bit about what you got going on this weekend.
Yeah, like you mentioned, it is Fan Appreciation Night. We just want to say that we're giving out a lot of prizes throughout the games, a lot of cool prizes to our fans who we do appreciate as well, too. The support we've had throughout the season has been phenomenal, and really just kind of giving back to the fans.
All right, so we're coming down to the home stretch. I mean, we got about 6 games left in the season, but it's getting to be the end. How's it been being back in Philadelphia?
Phenomenal. I mean, the fan base here is, gone above and beyond any expectation that I've had.
We do get a little rowdy here.
Oh,
I can admit. We've been to a couple. We've been to a couple of games. I think, Joe, was that your first game last time? Yeah. So I took him to his first Wings game, and he jumped right into the Broad Street spirit. He was screaming some of the profanities. Yeah. We were in the zone, man. You know, it's Buffalo. Buffalo. They know how to get us riled up. So it worked out. But you guys played great. I'm assuming we're going to have another great showing. But we are getting to the end of the season, and I believe we are just about out of the playoff race. But we want to finish strong. Are you guys looking to to next season already? I mean, you don't want to give up on the season, or not the term give up on the season, but you start. I mean, we got another expansion draft coming up. How does things work as you get to the end of the season? I guess just in general.
I think for us, we still have that mentality that we can compete and we want to play every game to the fullest. We're not looking ahead. We take one game at a time. So we're kind of excited and ready for this challenge this weekend up against New England. We want to win that season series. So we're going to take big pride in that and then focus on next week when it happens, kind of deal.
Yeah, it's always fun to go up against New England. You got to show the old wings what we're doing here.
Exactly.
I know it's like a weird rivalry thing, I guess, but you're just like, yeah, no, but like we're back. So you guys should have stayed.
Yeah.
You just now we've just got beef.
For sure.
Frank, I noticed you started out as attack and now you're playing transition.
Yeah.
Was that? I mean, how did that really come about, or was that you wanted to do a little bit more hitting, or?
So I played offense my entire life, basically.
Yeah.
And going into last year's draft, there were a couple of teams that I was like, this is where I do not want to go.
Yeah.
And Georgia being one of them, because, if you look at their roster and, the last 3 years, that they're set on the front door.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could say that at the least, especially on the right side. And, 3rd round, 24th pick, Georgia's up. Guess who they take? Frank Brown. And so I was like, oh, man. So I go to training camp. And, I knew what I was up against. And, basically they told me, hey, man, we're pretty set on the right side. You want to make this roster, you got to kind of make the transition to playing both ways. And so, and prior to that, I was an absolute liability on defense. I hated going back.
That's what I was asking. I was like, that's I like transition means it's like I might miss a couple. Is that what it is? It's like I might miss a couple
exactly. And as the season went on, Georgia had released me when a couple of their veterans decided to come back mid-season. I ended up with Rochester. With Rochester, we obviously went to the finals, lost in Game 3. And towards the end of the year, obviously the expansion draft coming up, I had developed into a pretty good defenseman. And so after the season was up, it's like, oh shit, I'm stuck. Oh
yeah, it's like no, it's cool. If we want to throw a bleep, but we're on the radio.
I'm stuck now. They're like, oh yeah. Like in the locker room after we lost Game 3, one of the veterans came up to me. It's like, hey man, I know you don't see yourself as a defenseman, but you're pretty good at it. I hope you're used to it now, because I think that's where you're going to be for a while. And so I was like, oh man, but it's a different mindset. It's all guts, no glory, I think. I pride myself on my ability to do what's necessary for the team's success. So that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I mean, and I guess coming from the offensive side of the ball, you kind of have that mindset. I remember playing goalie and switching to attacker, just like I think if I was you, this is what I would do. So you got kind of have a little bit of a idea. I mean, and you've been playing defense, and I mean St. Joe's. You're back in the area. So that was I was reading up on you a little bit, and I was a little confused because I was like, all right, so from St. Joe's, back in Philadelphia, but you're from Ontario. You came all the way down here to St. Joe's, then you went up to New England to play with the Black Wolves, and now you're back here. So it looks like you're from here, but you just spent a lot of time down here, I guess?
Exactly, yeah. I'm back home in Ontario, a small town called Guelph. But yeah, I wanted to play, the whole goal was to play Division I lacrosse in the States. Yeah. St. Joe's ended up being that school that I decided to go to and kind of fell in love with the city of Philadelphia. I enjoyed my 4 years there. It's kind of sad that it's over. It still feels like still part of the college scene and all, even like living now here down by Drexel area. But the 4 years at St. Joe's, I had a blast. And then, like you said, I got drafted by New England last year in the draft. Was playing there for the season, but then with the expansion happening and hearing that Philadelphia being one of those two teams, I was pretty excited. Like, kind of had that in the back of my mind, like this could be a possibility. Like going back to Philly. Seeing all my friends that I grew relations with over those past 4 years at St. Joe's. So once I heard or got the call that I was going back to Philadelphia, I kind of had the smile from ear to ear. So I was happy to be back.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's funny you don't hear many people saying they're excited to be back in Philadelphia, but I mean also I guess being an athlete we do have some passionate fans, so everybody's also glad to see you. And speaking of passionate fans, it's Fan Appreciation Night. We're gonna put in some work this weekend. I'm pretty excited. I know these guys are feeling positive about it, but we've been playing some really hard ball, guys, and it is going to be an exciting weekend. Hopefully we can score some tickets and I'll be out there. Maybe Joe will come with me. We can do some yelling.
Yeah.
You know, I like yelling at rival teams, but there's not. I'm working on some special jeers for the Black Wolves. You know, it's like you're not us. You know, so we're working on some stuff. But
Perfect.
thank you guys for coming in, joining us on the podcast again. Anthony Joaquim, or wait, no, I said that wrong again. Joaquim. There we go. And Frank Brown, thanks for being here. Let's go Wings. We'll see you guys this weekend.